What's up, Droomies? Just a quick disclaimer. This episode was recorded before the tragic passing of Ozzy Osbourne. May he forever rest in power. And with that, enjoy the episode.
Heavy metal has its share of has-beens, shoulda-beens, and never-was-beens. Bands who signed on the wrong label, came a year too late, or released a glam album after building their career on black metal. I'm looking at you, Celtic Frost.
That was one time!
But despite the setbacks, metal bands don't create because they want to, they create because they need to. Just like the T-Rex doesn't want to be fed, it wants to hunt. Like Dave Mustaine needs to be mad at someone, or like Kerry King needs a flame-covered shirt. Yes, the road to heavy metal is full of potholes, detours, and Chevy Tahoe drivers who break hard for special family dinners at Arby's.
Again, one time!
In metal's 55-year history, very few bands have clawed their way out of the pit and back into the spotlight. But today, we're not here for the ones who couldn't hack it. We're here for the Jack Burtons of metal, the ones who paid their dues, because yes, sir, the check is in the mail. We're diving into bands that took major hits, only to come back swinging harder, louder, and with metaphorical balls, 3 sizes bigger. Because as the philosopher Mr. T once said, you gotta have a setback to have a comeback. And Mr. T, patron saint of perseverance, slayer of pity, and crusher of fools, today we walk his path, armed with riffs, rage, and roast beef sandwiches. So grab your adrenaline shot, stab it right into your heart Pulp Fiction style, and get ready! Because this episode, this is our comeback too. Storm Ruler! What a rush! Jesus, I ran out of breath on that one. Fucking hell.
That was fucking beautiful, baby. Man alive.
Like the full G-forces of like a F-15 pilot, damn near passed out. Obliques are tuned up. They're humming.
Oh, man. Fucking is. It's so good to hear you deliver one of those fucking deliciously cold cut intros.
Oh, boy. Well, Frannie, we got a piping hot episode. In today's episode, we're going to be diving into bands that have staged epic comebacks after some pretty serious setbacks.
We've also got a special call out to Ozzy's farewell show.
As always, we've got some piping hot reviews coming your way. I don't know about that. Well, let's follow up on that one.
If this is your first trip with us, welcome in, or welcome back in this case. We are your druidic circle for metal news, concert coverage, and esoteric body humor.
Shaking off the rust, baby. Don't forget to subscribe, like the fucking show, give us a review, check Instagram, which we post on at least once a year, and sit back and get ready for a little comeback talk. Oh, Frannie, goddamn, how the fuck are you?
Oh, man, I am so fucking jazzed to the bones, spirit fingers and everything to be back, baby.
Well, goddamn, me too. I mean, I hate to open the show on such a serious note, but if you're wondering where the hell we've been, over the last 9 months, I've been virtually riding a hell ride health-wise, and to keep things short and simple, had some nervous system problems, pretty freaky, and fucked up my physiology and just made everything so much more sensitive. My hearing, my noise sensations, my ability to sleep. Everything has been hyper fucking sensitive except for the tip of my cock, which would have been really nice. But long story short, Frannie, you know all about this. You've been riding with me through hell. I've been like on a 6-month-long Natalie Portman crying breakdown. And just heave crying like V for Vendetta. My head's been shaved, only I'm not half as good looking, but a quarter good looking, I'd say so. Damn.
Fucking
Welcome back, boys.
When Natalie Portman thing fucking killed me.
God damn, she just loses her shit in every single film she's ever been in.
It is just like the textbook definition of ugly crying too.
Just like that crying where you're like teetering on the edge of vomit.
Yeah, dude. I just call back to when she's getting her head shaved in V for Vendetta, which, I mean, was also a really bad scene.
At a certain point, dystopian hell ride aside, she's got to calm down. Like, did the V for Vendetta guy just ever say, "Are you okay?" Like, Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be all right.
It's going to be all right, and things are going to be all right for us because finally some things are improving. There's a time there I wasn't sure what the fuck was going to happen to me, if it was going to get worse or going to get better, and it's pretty scary to find out that you think your whole life doctors know things, and it turns out they're mostly fucking stupid.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, especially here in America, where we just constantly trying to treat a current issue and not get to the root cause of things. Yeah, it's bleak. It's bleak.
Well, and I told him I've got a blood disease. I've got the generation of the 5th and 6th discs in my lumbar back, and my spine is totally corroded. And the doctor's like, "What the fuck you been listening to, boy?" And I'm like, piping hot death metal. I'm headbanging every single day. But, having some time off, it kind of brought me back to what's important in the spring and summer here in Minnesota. And that is the time-honored tradition of me remembering how much I fucking can't stand baseball. So goddamn boring.
It really is, man. Like, I'll gladly go to a ball game, especially if it's like minor league, St. Paul Saints, what up? I'll gladly go to one of them. But if it's on TV, I'm flipping it away right away. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
I went to a game with fucking good intentions, and by the 3rd inning, I'm fucking thinking, how early can I sneak out of here and still save face? But it's so goddamn, baseball's so goddamn boring, they build in a mandate to make you stretch your body. Like, that's saying something.
Yeah, that's bad, man. That's bad. If you have to institute a point in the game where fans need to get up and move around because it's so fucking boring.
Let's be real, people. 2/3 of the way through this, no one's going to have moves. So this is not a tradition, it's a cry for help. It's basically a medieval torture rack. If you as a sport have to remind your audience to move, you've got a problem.
You got issues, my man.
Oh my God, it was so fucking boring. It reminded me of the time I saw Neil Diamond live. I don't want to poo-poo Neil Diamond because the man's got some songs, but when I saw him, he refused to play any of his hits. And I'm just going to go on the record. If you're a nostalgia act and you refuse to play the songs everyone is there for, you're a fucking asshole.
You're a coward, man. You're a coward. It's ridiculous.
I didn't go into that show knowing that there were Neil Diamond deep cuts, but we got a 2-disc set. I'm like sitting here soaking up these real obscure Neil Diamond songs. I'm like, play Sweet Caroline, you fucking coward. But to Neil's credit, I don't know if you've ever been to a Neil Diamond show. As far as a sold-out stadium full of grandmas and, dare I say, gilfs, it was fucking packed to the fucking gills.
Oh my God, dude. We're like a quarter way through our intro and my ribs already hurt, man.
Hey, man, you thought gilfs were not going to make an appearance within the first 5 minutes? I mean, look, and by the way, when I tell you I saw gilfs at Neil Diamond, this is not a gendered term. This could be a grandma or a grandpa. I don't care if it's your Mima or Papa. If they're hot, they're hot. If they can still break a hip and bust a nut, they're on the list.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell fucking yeah. Man.
Yeah, so baseball, Neil Diamond, just been a drip. I mean, I'm slogging my way towards what's going to be a more action-packed back half of the summer, but it's crazy to think, but is Selma Hayek actually a gilf now?
Oh, I think so. I think she qualifies, man. I think she qualifies.
Is Sam Elliott a gilf?
Oh,
You're thinking way too hard, Frannie.
Yeah.
The answer's fucking yes. A man that doesn't know Sam Elliott's a gilf is a man who hasn't looked in the mirror.
Oh, man.
He's the only man alive who can make arthritis look sexy, but goddamn.
Fucking A right. You know what? You're right. You are right. Thank you for having the courage to say that for both of us.
Lasso your heart, fix your carburetor at the same time. Looks like he was born fully mustached, whispering horse wisdom. Sometimes the bar eats you. Goddamn, Sam Elliott was fantastic in The Mask as well. What a career the man has had.
Was he in The Mask?
He was in The Mask, not the Jim Carrey mask. I know you know. Cher mask.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. I thought you were talking...
Rocky Dennis, The Mask.
I thought you were talking about the Jim Carrey one for a second. I was like, wait, hold the phone here.
I get so pissed off every time I ever bring up The Mask, which is surprisingly often people assume Jim Carrey mask. I'm like, no, the Cher mask.
Oh my God, dude.
You want to talk about heave crying? Holy shit.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Well, to close, Franny, all I have to say before we move into a little concert reviews, when it comes to baseball, as I was watching the Twins and falling back into kind of like some MLB highlights, it sparked my memory of a song that went harder than it had any fucking business going. And I think you may have played this game. I don't know if it was like Y2K baseball, but Riot at the Baccarat by Dry Kill Logic. Holy shit, are you familiar?
Are you talking about the hit title sequence
The
song?
massive hit?
Yeah, the massive hit for the game MLB Slugfest.
Number one in Uruguay for 6 weeks?
Hell yeah, I am, dude.
Jesus Christ. Well, we might be getting more Ride of the Bat Rack than I was expecting here, but there it is. For people, I will say this about Ride at the Bat Rack by Dry Kill Logic. It's definitely the best baseball-themed nu metal song buried in the 2000s era sports game that I know of. Oh my god. It just has no business hitting this hard.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
The song smells like Monster Energy drink.
White Monster energy drink, precisely.
Oh my god, I could just run through a fucking wall. I just need to get like into a domestic assault when I listen to this. Holy shit, like, sir, this is a Chili's. Please calm down.
But I need you to calm down. We'll have to ask you to leave. Now, please put the chair down.
Please put the chair down, sir. We're bringing out your mozzarella sticks now. If you have no teeth and don't believe in wearing sleeves, it's probably the song for you. And I just can't believe the marketing team at Midway sat down and said, this is what we're going with. I suppose it doesn't make good radio to not see someone headbanging, but I need at least a slow fade out. You just fucking take off. You can't inject that into my veins and just cut me off like that. You made me an addict, and I wasn't prepared to stop. All right, Franny. Well, Riot at the Bat Rack was a riot at the Fat Shack. And my gut's been jiggling. What a good time it's been already. But let's move into some just real brief concert reviews before we get into the well-known and fabled Druidic discoveries. So, the Cause of Death Tour, Obituary Nails, Terror, Spirit World, and Pest Control. This was wild. Obituary may be the band I've seen live more than any metal band. Partially that comes down to the fact that they're in St. Paul or Minneapolis every fucking 9 weeks. I mean, holy cow, this band
It does
works hard.
seem like that. It does seem like that, yeah.
Well, so this show was fantastic because they were playing arguably their most memorable first half of career album, but Cause of Death, released in 1990. It's not just a fan favorite, probably the album that cemented Obituary's legacy as death metal lifers. It's sort of their early career sonic high point. The riffs got doomier, the grooves nastier, and John Tardy's vocals fully mutated into swamp gas and bile. Franny, Cause of Death is probably from that early area, that early era, probably my favorite album by Obituary.
I would have to agree, and we've talked about this before. I'm not a huge live album fan to like listen at home, but Obituary's Cause of Death live is my absolute favorite live album ever. They sound so incredibly good on that album. I mean, it's Obituary. They sound great live regardless, but man, Cause of Death is just one of those albums, like you said, it was a really high point for them. And actually, my first real taste of Obituary was listening to Cause of Death on your recommendation.
You got off to such a hot start with death metal. The 15 first albums you listened to, just a golden run.
I know, and it's been downhill ever since.
I'm like, the genre doesn't have a lot after that. Nah, the guitar tone on that album, and I know I agree with you. I love the live album. So to see that live, to hear, and he's obviously not in the band at this point, but James Murphy, some of the guitar work he put down on that album, it's just so good. Even the cover art is iconic.
Yeah, dude.
Painted by Michael Whelan, and here's a little wild tidbit, but the cover art for Cause of Death was actually intended for Sepultura's Beneath the Remains.
Wow.
But I guess, I know, imagine how different, and now that album also has some sick-ass cover art, but in the 11th hour, their label at the time, Roadrunner, gave it to Obituary instead. So that eerie skeletal raven creature, it's just as legendary as the riffs, but it could have been Sepultura's. So that's a kind of a fun little fact, I thought.
Yeah, that man, that would be crazy. I wonder if that would have like. I mean, I doubt it because it's Obituary and Sepultura, so they have a dedicated fan base regardless. But I wonder if, if album art ever could influence like the sales of an album or something like that. You know what I mean? I doubt it.
I think it absolutely does, and you can make a strong case for album art being part of just a cohesive package, which Cause of Death has. So that was fantastic to see them. And then just real quick, Nails gave me Third Degree Burns. Spirit World had absolutely the biggest balls of the show. That band I always will just think of as Big Dick Energy personified.
1,000,000%, dude.
Oh my God. And then I want to just close by calling out a band who I enjoyed so much so that I surprisingly bought a basketball jersey of, and I also bought you one of. But that would be no one else. That would be New York City's own Terror. What I came to learn is sort of an early 2000s hardcore legendary crew. Terror, they were unbelievable.
Terror kicks ass, man. I remember we saw them at Milwaukee Metal Fest. I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one that we went to, but man, Terror fucking go hard. They fucking crush, dude. They are definitely one of those bands that I don't always reach for, but when the mood strikes, when I'm feeling kind of pissed off or something like that, Terror's definitely one of those bands that I definitely just reach towards.
There has been a sort of a Terror effect on this episode, which is I think why Dry Kill Logic's very beat down heavy right at the Pat Rack. Lyrics aside, when I say beat down heavy, but like they've got their fingerprints all over this episode. And shout out to Scott Vogel and Nick Jett and all the fine folks in Terror who really put on a great show. And, I wish we could have had him on, but the Potato Farmer was at that show and he was lighting it up. And he was with us for the Shredfest Festival, which is the unofficial name, but Obscura, Atheist, fucking maybe the fastest death metal band I've ever seen. Origin, Decrepit Birth, and fucking Fractal Universe. What a fucking package.
Man, that show was crazy, especially since that was like our reunion tour, essentially, of going to concerts.
Music shows. Let's talk about some music shows, boys.
Let's talk about some music programs.
It's a fantastic musical program.
Come enjoy the whole musical experience, complete with smells, sights, and beers.
4 hours of ragtime for you. Buy your girl some Cracker Jacks.
Shredfest fucking shredded, man. It was an incredible lineup. Like you said, Obscura, Atheist, and Origin. That was my first time seeing them live. And yeah, talk about fast death metal. Holy buckets, dude. They were insane, man. And I just like I can't remember the lead singer's name, but you just saw him on stage, dreads and everything, but he was like older white dude, just fucking shredded.
Lead singer of Decrepit. I think you're talking Decrepit Birth's lead singer. I forget his name, but he's absolutely an archetype of heavy metal. He is definitely
holy shit, dude.
I mean, and he lives. I love a heavy metal lifer. I love someone who has dedicated himself to art, and he has.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Decrepit Birth, but either way, the whole show, the whole bill was just stacked to the gills. Obscura were amazing as always. Atheist, also amazing. I mean, I got a couple of shirts and a few albums from them.
You know what was wild? Atheist got a mosh pit, this jazzy death metal.
Yeah, dude.
Bordering on, 40-year-old band got a mosh pit. I was shocked.
It was an interesting mosh pit. I will say that it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't like a normal death metal mosh pit. It was a lot of.
It was like the fucking calling of the Ents, man. It was fucking slow moving. Yeah. It was very labored. They had to have like a king smoot for like 4 hours beforehand to decide that they were gonna fucking mosh. It was wild. It was wild in the safest way imaginable. But I mean, they were slow moving and fucking massive. Some of these guys, I'm like, how have I not seen this 6'8", 294-pound dude with dreadlocks? And there's like 7 of them.
Yeah,
It's the Clone Wars.
It was crazy. It reminded me of like Walking Dead, just people shambling to the middle of our favorite shithole, the caboose.
You talk about a shithole. I fucking walk up to the place. Of course, they put a wristband around my wrist, and it was only at that moment that I noticed they were advertising for a defense attorney on the fucking wristband. Come to the caboose. You're gonna need a lawyer. Come to the caboose and catch a charge.
Well, I mean, fuck, you're at the caboose. You probably gonna catch a charge for something out there, bro.
Frannie, it's wild that they would have had an advertisement for a defense attorney on a fucking wristband. And of course it indicates what kind of shithole the caboose is. But if I had needed legal counsel, where would I go?
Have you or your loved one chugged a boot full of Jaeger and thrown fists at a merch table? Did you throw up in a cymbal bag? Has your stage dive turned into a class action lawsuit?
Really, brother?
Then you need Ronnie the Riff Radigan Esquire, the only defense attorney who accepts payment in signed vinyl, corpse paint, and Arby's coupons.
Riff Radigan here. How can I shred the gnaw of justice for you today? Vehicular manslaughter at a circle pit? It's a Tuesday for me, brother. I got you.
Ronnie's defended every kind of metalhead mishap, from backstage brawls to accidental pyrotechnic arson. No case too dumb, no riff too tough. Not guilty. Setbacks happen, but comebacks, they start with counsel. So when your freedom's on the line, don't call your mother, call the riff.
Ronnie the Riff Radigan is not a licensed attorney in any state, territory, plane of existence, or Mortal Kombat tournament bracket. Legal representation may result in additional jail time, emotional distress, or spontaneous combustion. Do not attempt to stage dive off courthouse benches. Side effects may include tinnitus, whiplash, and accidental marriage to a groupie named Chat.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. I don't even know I don't know if Ronnie is New Yorker. I don't know if he's from Appalachia. I don't know if he spent the last week under a dumpster, but holy shit, the man's got the job.
He's been working on keeping his non-regional accent going for years. It really opens up his client base, you know what I mean?
The caboose, I'll never forget that you put me on to a defense attorney by virtue of coming to the show. And we're not shit-talking people. The wristband actually had an advertisement for a defense attorney. So Frannie,
It was
keeping
wild.
the show moving along, why don't we kick into some little story time? Let's go to the news.
And now for another druidic discovery.
Well, Frannie, Judas Priest is in the works on a new documentary called The Ballad of Judas Priest. It's currently in production, but it's going to be co-directed by Sam Dunn, who you may remember from maybe it was VH1, but he did a series of biopics or some shit, autobiographical vignettes on all of the genres of heavy metal. Just throwing out words that make no sense. But Sam Dunn partnering with Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello, and it's going to be an uncensored look at the 50-year career of none other than Rob Halford's Judas Priest. So look for that to be coming out in a theater near you in the next calendar year.
Oh my God, I'm excited for that. Hell yeah, dude. Speaking of theater of the mind, theater of the home, one of my favorite bands, one of your favorite bands, maybe, at least one that you told me about, Archspire is going fully independent, okay? After over a decade with Season of Mist, Archspire have gone fully independent. They have launched and successfully completed a campaign over on Kickstarter, originally asking for 174,000 Canadian dollars, which is roughly like 127,000 USD. And they raised over 396,000 Canadian dollars.
Incredible.
So over double what they were asking for, which is just awesome. There's no date for release yet, but tracking for their 5th album has been complete, so that's a good sign. That's a big part of the journey right there. So
for a band to self-finance and to take, I mean, this is perhaps the Taylor Swift influence being seen in the metal community. They're very powerful artist, obviously not in the scale of being a Swiftie commander, but for them to take ownership over their careers and finance themselves, and for the fans and probably other bands to show up for them. I love to see it. And yeah, I was jacked by that news.
It's crazy because I was looking into it, and like label cuts take anywhere from like 60 to 80%. So I see why they're wanting to do it. I mean, it makes sense, but
What else you got, baby?
David Lee Roth is coming out of retirement, essentially, and he's going to be doing a tour starting later this month. It'll be going from July 22nd to September 14th. I mean, talk about an icon. He's basically a recluse at this point, and it's pretty fucking cool to see him come back and hit the road. So hopefully he comes by Minnesota so I can get some fucking Yankee Rose up in my business.
Who backed up a Mack truck of cocaine to his house to get that shit to happen?
I know.
I mean, to his credit, I do believe he cleaned up his act. So so good for Dave, but maybe we need him to be on cocaine for this tour.
If he's not coming out in skin tight pants with some wild ass face paint, I don't want him.
If he's not high kicking at least 2 feet above my head, I ain't going. Well, Frannie, as we close out Druidic Discoveries, a massive shout out to the unholy patriarch of metal, the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne, at Birmingham's Villa Park on July 5th of 2025, held the Back to the Beginning farewell on a career that is as storied as anyone in music. From atop a throne, because Parkinson's ain't playing, he unleashed an acoustic rendition of Crazy Train. He played Mama, I'm Coming Home. Everything hit hard as hell. And of course, with the OG lineup, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, they played a 4-song set. And there wasn't a dry eye in the fucking stadium.
I know it was really heart-wrenching to watch. I mean, you had legends from Metallica, Guns N' Roses, all covering Sabbath in tribute to just an insane career. I mean, it was hosted by Jason Momoa, which was like really crazy to me. And then he ended up jumping into the stage for Pantera.
I saw that.
It started moshing with everybody, which was just crazy in itself.
What if he was like a really easy out in the mosh pit? Like someone barely puts a little pressure on his little fucking juicy, delicious, beautiful thigh bone and he just goes down.
It just crumples, just dropped like a sack of potatoes.
He looked like he apprised himself well, and it was really cool to know that he was a metal fan.
Absolutely. It was really cool to see him there. Ozzy's final tour raised roughly 140 million pounds for charity benefiting Parkinson's research, children's hospitals, and hospices all over. So it was, a last farewell, but also it was for a really, really, really good cause.
I gotta call this out too. I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking young blood head, like I know a lot about the guy, but I have seen some things previously. I know he's been compared to Billy Idol, which will always pique my interest.
Yep.
But he had a rendition of Changes that deserves to be called out. It was absolutely phenomenal. Steven Tyler also had a pretty strong vocal performance, and dipshit from Disturbed got booed pretty heavily. So
yeah, dude.
It was all
yeah, he did. Oh man. Well, in true Druidic ritual, the Prince of Darkness bowed out, surrounded by his loved ones, and just insane music and thunderous riffs, and a swelling global chorus of metal faithful. Eternally epic, eternally Ozzy. It was a hell of a show. I wish I would have been able to go. I mean, who doesn't wish they were there?
Well, I don't have an extra kidney to sell, but yeah, I mean, if you were at that show, count yourself one of a few lucky 100,000 or however many. It was packed, but if you were at that show, you've got something to tell your grandkids about, and just the images and the scenes of people just crying. And I get it. How could you not be moved? And Ozzy Osbourne, stick around to our next episode. And I promise there is a next episode in about a month. We're going to do just an Ozzy retrospective. And I'll just say, if there's any comeback story that towers above most of them in heavy metal, the saga of Ozzy Osbourne's up there, from getting fired twice, to hear him tell it, by Black Sabbath, to battling addiction, health scares, fucking just being the Prince of Darkness for going on, what, 60 years.
Yeah.
Ozzy's just, the man's had more comebacks than a geriatric cock ring. And I personally am, I'm personally very proud of him.
Oh my God. Oh shit. His recent final bow at Villa Park was less of a farewell and more of a triumphant reminder that setbacks don't mean the end. They're just the thunder before the next epic riff. And that, my friends, is exactly what today's episode is all about. Those bands, artists, and legends who've been knocked down, kicked around, but got back up louder, prouder, and heavier than ever. So let's dive in and raise some horns to the comebacks that kept metal alive.
Woo-hoo! Man, you got me hyped over here. Well, Frannie, we're talking about comebacks, and I will just start by saying Iron Maiden had arguably one of the best comebacks in the history of metal, because for a moment, after Bruce Dickinson left, the band kind of stumbled hard, and it's not that Blaze Bayley was the problem. The band just seemed to be reeling in an identity crisis, and don't get me wrong, Blaze can sing, the man can sing his fucking ass off, but they didn't play to his strengths. It's like they hired O.J. Simpson for security and got mad when he sawed someone's head off. Blaze just wasn't put in a position to be successful. But they rose like a phoenix on steroids. Bruce and Adrian decided to play nice. They got together and fucking Brave New World comes out. And this must have been around 2002, I want to say. But they reclaimed their throne louder and prouder than ever. So they didn't just come back. They came on everyone's back. And no one was mad about it.
Damn it. Oh my God.
I'm very sorry, Frannie.
I need to say it.
It's the kind of show we're doing here. God damn, I got this boy going. Holy shit. I broke Frannie.
Holy fuck.
The man's got to cough it out.
Oh my God. Crying over here. That was
I hope
so
this
beautiful.
lands as well with the tens of you listening as it has here.
Oh man.
I just love you.
Oh God. From the soaring heights of metal royalty to the gritty underworld of death metal pioneers who refuse to die quietly, Possessed is one of those bands. Possessed wrote the first chapter of death metal history. They vanished like my... I can't say that line. You gotta say that line.
Possessed vanished like my dad.
Frontman Jeff Becerra survived a near-fatal shooting that would have ended most careers. Was shot twice trying to buy a pack of smokes, almost took him out. But Jeff, he came back, and not only did he come back in a fucking wheelchair and an eye patch, still ready to rip faces off.
Fucking Captain Ron eye patch, don't forget about it.
You put some respect on that goddamn eye patch.
You act like I don't put respect on Captain Ron's name. Every day I wake up, face due east, and I think about Captain Ron before I fucking put my shoes on.
In 2019, they dropped Revelations of Oblivion, their first full album in over 30 years.
Wild.
Proving the godfathers of death metal could still sound fresher and nastier than bands half their age. Possessed's comeback isn't just a return, it's a declaration that metal's original demons don't just live on. They roll over your ass with double thick tired tread and spit in your eye just for fun.
Speaking of spit play, Germans just seem to have a penchant for kink. Have you noticed this?
I have noticed.
Have you seen this?
My time in the web searches before.
If you want a comeback story dripping in leather and stubbornness, look no further than Germany's heavy metal institution, Accept. Now, Accept is one of my favorite bands. I'm going to just be fucking fully honest with you on that. But they crashed out hard in the late 80s. And you got to consider, this is after massive genre-defining albums. You're talking Restless and Wild. You're talking Metal Heart. And let it not be forgotten, Balls to the fucking Wall, sir.
Balls to the wall. Hell yeah, man.
If we can do this without getting sued, can you please whoa over the top of this shit as this is building? All right, because here's the thing with Accept, their idiosyncratic Elmo adjacent lead singer Udo Dirkschneider, which one of my favorite names of all time. Udo bailed in 1987, and the band sort of seemed dead on arrival. But I'll never forget this, Frannie. You talk about a comeback. You talk about a band picking themselves up off the mat. You're talking about, and this is probably pre-Usyk second fight, but Gypsy King getting off the mat in the first Wilder match. I'm getting too deep on the boxing references, but the point is, Accept were on the mat, and they released in 2010 Blood of the Nations. An absolute shot in the arm to the heavy metal world. And Mark Tormillo, I think he's from Jersey, if I recall. I don't know why that's relevant, but I feel like it's relevant because his balls are so goddamn big, he'd have to be from like Newark or Jersey or something like that.
Yeah.
But they dropped Blood of the Nation, and it didn't just like put him back on the map. It became the fucking map, and they reminded everyone why they were the godfathers of European metal. So, Frannie, before we leave Germany, it's worth noting, Accept weren't the only thing spanking its way through the Teutonic heartland. Honestly, if there was a Venn diagram of German culture, there would be an overlap between the industrial metal scene and industrial grade BDSM, and it'd basically be a circle. And you got bands like Rammstein, they're basically doing stadium shows that look like literal flesh expos. You got the entire new Deutsch heart scene sounding like a leather-clad Terminator, and it's, let's be honest, I would say Accept didn't exactly invent leather pants, but they were comfortable in them.
They're Europe's answer to Rob Halford, except for everyone's a little more serious and a little more coldly efficient.
If Rob Halford is the leather daddy who will tuck you in after, Germany's kink scene leaves you with an invoice and an itemized tax deduction.
And on that note, let's travel north to Denmark, where the leather's swapped for corpse paint and Grandma's ghost is doing all the choking. So let's talk about King Diamond. King Diamond's career is a saga of theatrical darkness and personal tragedy. After Merciful Fate's breakup, he faced not just a challenge of reinventing himself, but he actually faced a real heartbreak behind the scenes. His wife suffered a really, really bad accident that shook his world, and King battled vocal cord issues that really threatened the very tool that made him legendary, his voice.
That voice is gold. I mean, that voice is his whole fucking career.
Absolutely. That voice is what put him on the map. But he didn't just survive, he transformed his pain into a legendary theater. I mean, if you just fucking listen to any of our episodes on Halloween covering any of the King albums that we've talked about, you'll see what we're talking about. He can fill so many voices, he can fill so many characters all at once. His voice is his tool. With his haunting falsettos and the twisted tales, he turned tragedy into epic solo albums that haunted metal's darkest corners. King Diamond's comeback is proof that when life fucking takes a dump on you, you wipe it off, you stand back up, and you take a big steaming pile of shit right back on it.
I just I had no idea what he had gone through. I had no idea that his wife had gotten so tremendously ill, that he struggled with his voice. Yeah, I'm glad he made it. I'm glad he made it to the other side. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I had no idea either, but yeah, I mean, where would we be without King Diamond, really?
Well, to close on comebacks, to close on stories of bands who just took a punch to the face and got back up, I want to talk about a band who really has had nothing but setbacks, period. And I kind of have mixed feelings about them, but Canada's own Anvil. Frannie, are you familiar with Anvil?
Very minimally.
I'd say honestly, if it weren't for a very special and timely documentary, most even metal fans would have a similar answer, because Anvil never really received any mainstream spotlight, but they've been grinding away since the dawn of fucking metal. So, when you see this documentary called Anvil, the story of Anvil, this sort of launched them back into the heavy metal zeitgeist, because quietly, very quietly, they had been releasing like something like 20 albums whose cover art was probably the inspiration for our cover art or cover chart episode. Some of the most artistically bereft images I've ever seen. Well, long story short, Anvil's a band. And
Anvil's a band.
but they also, to their credit, what makes Anvil sort of special and why they actually are on this comeback list is they really had nothing but bad breaks. And jokes aside, some legitimately overlooked albums, especially early on, Metal on Metal, that is a classic. Documentary comes out, puts them back into the collective consciousness of the heavy metal scene, and even some of the normies. I mean, they appeared at Sundance. They were on, I want to say, David Letterman. And that's one hell of a comeback, even if your music never really was the catalyst. It's more their actual perseverance of never giving up.
That's crazy. I mean, going that long without like fully breaking into the metal scene, that and still just being like, fuck it, I want to keep going because this is what I love to do. That's real grit, man.
It's interesting because you got Lips, who's their lead singer, and the dude, when he sings, he just gesticulates so much. He is an interesting guy, and I do get a kick out of him. I'm not going to lie, but I dock the band, comeback story aside, I do dock them some points for the way they allegedly treated longtime bassist Glenn G. I guess after he left the band, he stated he was happy to no longer work with self-righteous, narcissistic, grumpy old men. Tell me how you really feel, Glenn.
Yeah, damn. Talk about a burning indictment. Fuck.
But when we talk about Anvil or King Diamond or any of the aforementioned bands who were snake-bitten, downtrodden, and refused to give up, all of those comeback stories are sort of like a motif from the broader comeback story that is heavy metal. Frannie, metal is the ultimate comeback story. It's music that it's born in the fucking shadows. Metal, I would say metal lives in the margins where it's too fucking weird, it's too loud, and too goddamn real for most to swallow. So what happens is when the suits wouldn't even give metal a seat at the table, metal didn't bag. It built its own fucking table out of riffs, sweat, bones, rage, all the goddamn things. This is a genre, it's been knocked down, it's been written off. To this day, we know that metal's disrespected. I would say that's been like a theme from the start, but like a pissed off phoenix with a chainsaw, heavy metal always comes back swinging harder and fucking louder.
You know, if the 90s and the 2000s taught us anything, it's that Jack Black nailed it when he said, nothing can fucking kill the metal, man. You know, metal's still here. It's still snarling. It's still spitting fire. It's still breaking bones and, you know, stripping people over the rack. It's never going away. It's shown it's the loudest. It's the strangest. It's the toughest fuckers that are always going to win in some way, whether it's through perseverance or, you know, finally hitting a mark or something like that. Every riff, every scream, every pit, that's metal saying, fuck setbacks. They're just, the margins aren't just where metal survives, man. It's where it fucking conquers. It's like Mr. T said, like you said earlier, you gotta have a setback to have a comeback. And metal, it's the ultimate comeback king, man. Always flexing those comeback muscles, punching fate right in the fucking teeth.
Where would comeback muscles, in terms of an anatomical, you got the Vesuvian man in front of you. You got little Da Vinci's splayed out man. Where are the comeback muscles? Is it near the cockles? Is it solar plex region?
See, it's that little wad of muscle right before your dong, right above it, right above it. Or
near the taint.
Yeah, near the taint, probably.
If you want to have a comeback, you need to have a strong pelvic floor. That's what I know.
Yeah, that's exactly. The pelvic floor. That's your comeback muscles.
Well, Frannie, it's been an unbelievable return to form, and I think there's a lot of bands that we're leaving out of the equation, but heavy metal, you said it best. Nothing can kill it, and nothing will kill the metal. And shout out to Jack Black, by the way, for just a fantastic, tasteful little cover of Crazy Train with a group of kids, and that really gave me School of Rock vibes. Mr. Schneebly is still schneebling.
Schneebly got a Schneebly.
The Schneeblies taste like Schneebleberries. I think stick around for the next episode. We're going to be taking a look at the life, the career, the ongoing wild ramblings of a madman, otherwise known as Ozzy Osbourne, and to take a little look-see at Black Sabbath proper. So, Frannie, I've had a great time with you. Thank you, listeners, for sticking around with us, and I'm going to take off.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back and joining us, letting us know you're still out there supporting us. Wrecker, thank you for an incredible episode. If you have any questions at all, make sure to reach out to us at our Instagram, our Gmail, Druids of Doom podcast at gmail.com, and please make sure to stick around for the next episode of Druids of Doom. Okay, we are
break
live.
the fourth wall like it's a hymen and share my show notes with you. It's the first time ever. Oh, all right. Oh, excuse me. My throat's letting out.
It's all the laughing, man. Oh.
Wow. We gonna make a podcast. We gonna do it well. We gonna make a podcast. And you don't like it, go to hell.
Hell no!
It's a beautiful thing to make a podcast. So with you, we got tens of listeners out there.